Michael, great to have you on the show. This is clearly a very big moment. So first of all, your reflection on the peace deal itself.
Well, it looks like a rerun of the 2006 peace deal, which gave us UN Security Council Resolution 1701. So it's the same sort of thing. In the sense that the Israelis say, well, we'll pull out and be replaced south of the Litani River by a United Nations force. There are two differences here. I mean, the 2006 deal went wrong fairly quickly because Hezbollah just moved back in with the residents. But two things are different here. One is that American and French troops might be involved in policing the area, along with the UN force, 5,000 French and American troops, 10,000 already in the UN force, UNIFIL. So the presence of foreign troops, particularly American troops, over the 60-day period may make it a bit more secure than the last one. And secondly, Hezbollah has been hit much harder this time than it was in 2006. So it will be just technically harder for Hezbollah to get back into the area south of the Litani River, just on the Israeli border. But I'm pretty sure they will. Whether they'll do it within 60 days or not, we don't know. But for the next 2 months, it's reasonable supposition that this may stop the immediate fighting before it restarts. I'm fairly sure it will restart, but maybe not for 60 days.
You were talking about American and French troops there, but also British ones, surely. David Lammy, the Foreign Secretary, was telling the House of Commons today that he expects Britain to support UNIFIL and British troops to be involved in helping train the Lebanese army as they have been in the past.
Well, that's technically true. I mean, I think that may sound like more than it really is. I mean, the British forces have been involved in UNIFIL, but there are 10,000 UNIFIL troops. The last time I checked, that we had two. So they are there as liaison troops. I mean, they're there to sort of show the flag and be liaison, to report back. So, yes, we have been in UNIFIL. We've had 2 people there. So maybe we'll have 4, maybe we'll have 6, who knows? I mean, I doubt if we will deploy a battalion of, say, 600, I doubt, or even a company of 100. Maybe I may be wrong. I don't know what David Lammy's got in mind. And, yes, we can help with the training of the Lebanese troops because, yes, we can. That's one of the things we are good at. We're good at training troops. And the Lebanese army has been much weakened. I mean, Hezbollah is far stronger than the Lebanese army, and the Lebanese army is essentially held back and let Hezbollah more or less do what it wants in southern Lebanon.
Sure. Michael, this is clearly a good moment. A peace deal is better than no peace deal.
Yep.
But the optimism that's bubbling around the place, for instance, that this could be followed by a deal with Hamas quite shortly, seems to me to be a little overdone at the moment. And it leads to the big question as to what Israel really wants to do about Iran.
Yeah, I think it is overdone. I mean, the Biden administration, understandably, is saying, well, let's create some momentum over this. Let's now move on to a deal with Hamas that releases the hostages, which creates a new beginning. And, you know, good for President Biden. If he can get anywhere close to that in his final couple of months, then good for him. But the military logic is going in the opposite direction. The military logic is that this deal for 60 days will allow the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, to redeploy, to rest a little bit, and redeploy back into Gaza, where, to be honest, they've been going around in circles. I mean, they've gone into Jabalia 4 times, and they still, you know, haven't pacified the place, as they would put it. So they need more troops inside Gaza, and this will probably give them the opportunity to do that, to squeeze Hamas even further rather than do a peace deal with them. And we'll see. And the other thing is that this is a moment where Netanyahu will feel, you know, I've knocked Hezbollah back a long way. I've knocked Hamas back a long way, and Iran has not been able to do anything about it. The Iranians have lost 2 of their most important proxies, particularly Hezbollah. So this is my moment with an incoming Trump presidency, which is very anti-Iran. This is my moment to confront Iran again on something else. And I wouldn't be at all surprised, I'm not predicting it, but I wouldn't be at all surprised if something doesn't arise in the next month or just after Christmas, which somehow creates another problem, another crisis, which confronts Iran, because Netanyahu has made it very clear. He said that now that we've dealt with our immediate enemies, we get on to our real enemy, which is Iran. And he said that for years. Our real enemy is Iran. And this is his moment. This is his opportunity with an incoming Trump administration, on, you know, giving him a sort of a wind in his sails.
That's absolutely fascinating. Let me ask you about what another writer has been talking about, Lawrence Friedman. He's, as it were, put a completely alternative view, which is Trump likes to surprise, and he likes the big diplomatic coup. Could Trump arrive and do a deal with Iran, which pacified the whole region and allowed him then to turn his attention to what he's really concerned about, which is China?
Yes, that's possible as well. And Laurie Friedman is very good at thinking those things through. I mean, yeah, he knows that one of his strengths is that people fear him and they fear his unpredictability. And like all sort of autocrats, I won't call him a dictator, but we know what you mean. He's an autocrat. He can turn on a sixpence. And if he says to his followers that black is white this week, they'll all say, yes, of course. How foolish of us not to realise it. So, I mean, he has the opportunity to surprise everybody. That's absolutely true. But I mean, if he tries to do a deal with Iran, it will have to be a very one-sided deal, which the Iranians will find very difficult to swallow. But that doesn't negate the idea that he might try it. Yes, he might. That's certainly plausible. I suspect it will be the other way round. I suspect it will be pressure on Iran before he comes to some sort of new arrangement with them, because I think he wants them to understand what real pressure can feel like, because in the last administration up to 2020, the sort of pressure he put them under was beginning to have a big effect on them, and I think he'll feel, well, I need a bit more of that before I then, play the good cop.